All right.
You guys ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, you did a roll call. Somebody make a motion, we accept the approval of the previous minutes.
Make a motion, we approve the previous minutes.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, we moved to citizens report. Does any citizens want to address the council? Go ahead, Gail.
Film Street. Last month, you guys were discussing the Airbnbs, and I just want to know what kind of things you have in place if they decide not to pay the license to do business. How are you going to monitor that? And what's the repercussion if they don't buy it, or they're not going to be able to rent, and how are you going to enforce that?
Well, let me try to answer your first question first. So I believe the way, and it was just a draft, right? So we haven't passed it.
Sure.
But I think the repercussion of not paying your license fee would be withdrawal of the license, I think is how it's laid out in the draft. So you know, I'm assuming there would be a grace period. We didn't write one in, but basically you'd be susceptible to withdraw your
And
license.
who's going to oversee that process of rescinding their license?
I guess, you know, fiscally, the clerk would be aware of non-payment, and then from there, it would either be up to the city or potentially PDS.
Okay. Because a lot of times with rental license in general, they don't pay, but yet they continue to rent their facilities out. They're making money while the city's not.
Correct. I actually have a call into Corey concerning the non-payments of some of the single-family homes and stuff that continue to be rented and not paying. That actually I was going to bring it up tonight.
Okay.
But the question I have for PDS is, will they be able to handle the enforcement end of that, or is there a cost associated with that? So I think based on whether there's a cost or not, we have to decide as a city if it's something that we want to continue to try to enforce, or it's something that we're going to hand over to PDS.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to address the council? Okay. All right, Andy, that's your PDS report.
Okay, well, I have a few updates. We had some complaints regarding, I'm sorry, I think it was 301 Main, for some trash being left out on the curb. It appears that Rumpke is not picking up.
Well, I think Rumpke don't pick up if you just put bags out there. I don't think Rumpke picks them up. I think they want it in their can.
Well, that
So
could be, yeah.
move it and dump it in the truck because,
Some of it's on Main.
yeah, that's a big problem on Main. It's been, over the last 2 months, they do nothing but throw bags and bags of garbage out there. And we need to somehow figure out how we can stop them from doing that, because that's
Well,
just a
they've-
damn mess.
They've already received one notice.
Okay.
And Corey's got an open case on them, so they're
Okay.
gonna, I think the next.
But I would
step
like to
is
see
coming
them,
as a fine.
I'd like to see them being cited.
Are the cans being emptied? Or the cans being emptied either?
Cans are.
There is cans out there, but you are right, there is a lot of bags.
Well, on both sides, there's
Yeah.
on Boone Street and there's
Mhm.
on,
But they do have some cans, that's why.
on Main.
Dig through the bags to get the cans. Yeah.
I think the timeline on it, Mike, is, I think he's coming back through Tuesday.
Mhm.
And if it's not gone, then the next step is gonna be fine.
Yeah, because I don't think if we really we need to step on this and squash this, especially before good weather gets here, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then you're gonna have, animals getting into the bags and throwing trash everywhere. I know Jack spends a lot of time just picking up around that area there, And actually, Jack, as soon as you see that being a problem, notify Andy, you know what I mean? Because I'd like to really put a stop to that, okay? Because I'm getting nothing but phone calls on it, you know what I mean?
We got, well, they had that mattress and the chair and all that other
Yeah.
stuff out there. And that's when I first contacted PDS on it.
Mhm.
And that got cleaned up, but now we've got this sort of lingering issue with the.
Trash.
With the trash.
Yes, right, okay.
Let's see, outside of that, there's not a lot going on right now because we don't have high grass or vegetation, in the middle of winter. 1762 high water is now in excess of $12,000 in fines. So that's something we'll probably have to talk about, soon. Other than that, there's nothing major to report.
That thing, 17,000 on high water,
Uh,
what was our goal? Wasn't it 20,000? When it got to 20,000, we were going to move on with the foreclosure.
There really is no prerequisite to
Yeah, I
join
thought
a
we, yeah,
foreclosure.
I thought we discussed that $20,000.
If we want to make that a line in the sand, we can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought we did too.
Yeah, I thought we
We
did.
did.
yeah,
vote
I really do. I
on
think it
that
was
limit.
$20,000.
When was that discussed, just so I know?
Oh, shoot, been a long time, yeah.
Okay. If you remember that, will you please let me know?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay.
We can, we'll have to research the minutes.
yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of.
You're saying for the minimum, to foreclose, 20,000?
Right, I know. Well,
I actually thought it was less than that.
I thought
it might have been 10,000 because I remember down on the, was on council, and he's the one that brought it to us, Matt.
Uh,
Yeah. Matt Holt, or Matt,
Uh,
Workman.
Yeah,
I think a long time ago, PDS had it to where, or KRS was set to where it was like a certain percentage of the value of the property before you could move on foreclosure.
yeah,
But when I talked to PDS, they said that's no longer the case, and you can foreclose on pretty much any dollar amount.
okay.
So I think after this meeting, there's somebody, just to keep form, Ms. Smith knows the answer, but I don't want to start deliberating that, so I think maybe she might recall when that was done and what the amount was, so maybe after, if you can ask her what year that was, Mike, just to kind of get,
I know it's within our duty time. In other words, it was, I became council member in 17, so it's from 17 forward.
okay. She might remember, if not, it sounds like she does, I just don't want to start engaging, just to keep
Gotcha.
form
Okay,
there, so.
all right, we'll take care of that. Anything else, Andy?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, police?
Evidently, did not send a report in, sorry. Evidently, well, Friday our scanners were down, and yesterday, or Monday, I guess I just didn't hit send. So, basically the same as all the other ones, except we did have a sexual abuse first degree of a child under 12 years old. We made an arrest on that night,
Mhm.
or when it came to our attention. And keep you informed how that turns out for the
Okay.
process. Other than that,
Okay, all right. Anybody got any questions for Cody? Okay. Well, thank you.
that's my report, I'll let you all.
All right, thank you, Cody. Fire department?
Should have my report, I don't think there's anything that's out of the ordinary. We did make a fire in Covington up on Hazen Street. The one thing that, it's not really, I don't think you noticed anything in Bromley, but just snow removal when you're cleaning your sidewalks, please make sure you're also cleaning your, snow around your, fire hydrants, because it becomes
Right.
unable to be seen, especially in the middle of the night. I had some pictures attached to the report just for reference. And then we got the update on the SAFER grant report. It's doing pretty well. We have about another full year with that. And then October of 27, I think, that ends. So we've got 3 or 4, I think it's 4 in recruit class right now, and there's 3 or 4 in EMT class. So we're doing pretty well with that as far as keeping our numbers up and getting these people trained and ready to make responses.
Okay. All right.
Any questions?
Anybody got any questions for him? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Diane, you got anything on the hall? No.
do
no.
not.
Okay. Okay, road and light, Dave.
Snow removal was done. I had a couple calls, but those issues were resolved. And that's pretty much it for my committee this month. The mayor has not been mounted at the end of Moore Street on Main due to weather,
Okay.
so
Have
that's
you-
all I have.
Did you check in on that grant by any chance to see where we're at with that?
They said that they would notify me, but I guess I can reach out.
Yeah, why don't we just so they know we're interested in trying to receive that money, Dave?
Because I think down in Frankfurt, they just now went back in session, so
Okay.
that money will be allocated and so forth down there at that time. But I'll follow up on it.
Okay.
That's all I had.
Jack, you got anything that you want to bring up?
I boarded up 305 Main, that's all
Okay.
taken care of. 102 Kenton, I boarded up the garage door and back.
Okay.
Like someone was going in and out, because it was locked maybe a month ago, and I checked about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was unlocked, so
Unlocked.
I boarded that. I walked inside, there's a lot of stuff inside there.
Oh, okay.
So I went and boarded that up.
All
I
right.
put the stop sign in for Moore Street, and Steve Tanner is
Okay.
waiting on weather to get a little better, and I'll get that put up. It's running flashing solar lights.
Right. Okay, good, good.
That's about all I got.
All right.
I've got something to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you have a chance to get that handicap sign?
Oh, yeah, I pulled that.
Too.
Yeah, I did that last week.
Thanks.
No problem.
One thing too, you gave me the numbers for the salt and sand that was used.
Yeah.
You're, just make sure if that's the same, that's the report you gave to SD1? You're
Well,
gonna use those?
it has to be in by the 13th, so I'm just gonna estimate what I did last year. So just-
I'll go ahead and do that, just stay consistent, and I'll check on the billing
Okay.
and see if it's different, we'll make an adjustment.
Okay.
Thanks, Jack.
All right. All right, Matt?
Yes. So I'm going to talk about the pending suit, the pending foreclosures that were just brought up. So 305 Main Street, my office, we filed a motion for summary judgment against the county and a tax lien company, just so they get paid, and default judgment on the owner of 305 Main, and that is scheduled to, I have to be in court to be heard on that. It's in March, early March, just for purposes of the meetings, early March. With respect to 102 Kenton, I know last meeting I mentioned that we had issues getting them served. By them, it's an entity. The address is no longer belongs to them. It's a vacant lot. So Kenton County Clerk has accepted what's called a warning order attorney affidavit, and they're going to appoint an attorney to constructively, I'm air quoting essentially, or intentionally, constructively serve them, and then from there, we'll be able to continue to proceed forward on that property. So more of a lengthy update, and I want to kind of be brief, but give everyone an update. So last meeting, this whole discussion about the soccer field was brought up. I'm not talking about the boat ramp. I'm just talking about the soccer field, where the city is potentially going to lease from SD1 and potentially going to sublet that to an entity, but everyone knows the name Mike Wall, right? So I had some follow-up discussions with Mr. Clift and Mr. Kendall about this, and I had a billion questions that ultimately had everything to do with making sure that the city is going to be, the city's best interest is in those contracts, nobody else's or no other entities, so you all voted me to get involved. So I had a really nice conversation with Mr. Wall. I let him know that my intent is, ultimately it's not up to me. It's up, you guys are voting on this, you guys are working on this, but I have a duty to make sure that the contracts are up to par. So I made very clear to him that I am personally not trying to stop this or stall this or put a wrench in anything. I just need to make sure everything's done correctly, and he 100% agreed. You know, I know I've talked to him on the phone for quite a while, but I've only seen him once. I mean, he's a stand-up guy, and I asked a lot of the questions and concerns that I have. I won't get into the details, but, you know, he assured me, you know, the motive genuinely is to, you know, bring value to Bromley and really genuinely help the kids, and that's the mission, and things like that. And some of the concerns that I had with regard to emails and things that were said in emails were really just misunderstandings, so none of that matters. What I do want to mention to you all is I'm definitely going to need to stay involved in the negotiation process, the drafting process, with respect to the contract. I'm keeping this organized. I don't want to overwhelm you all too much with information, but with respect to the contract, I'm gonna, now that I've talked to him, I'm gonna further work with you guys, obviously, to get involved with the SD1 conversations to make sure that the city's protected. You know, with the lease being that long, you know, I don't want to say more importantly, but more of my focus really is going to be making sure that, you know, Mr. Wall's mission and, you know, what council's voting on and everything is married into a contract that is good for everyone. You know, as everyone knows, he's going to be investing a lot of money in developing that. And my biggest concern was, once this is done and everything's great and 5 years go by and something happens, how's the city liable? So, and I don't mean, you know, little Johnny getting hurt, I do mean that, but, you know, that's one thing. What I'm more concerned about is, you're gonna have to bear with me on some pauses because I have a lot of notes, but I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I don't want to cite incorrectly. Okay, so in phase one, he's going to be planning to remove this is just a conversation, do not take this verbatim. Planning to remove a few trees, but the big thing is he needs to pre-grade soil, do fill dirt and grade it out, overseed and aeration. The irrigation system and all of those other things are the bigger concern of. I use the example of you know, some kids. I think this happened recently up at another park. They get on there and they do donuts on the field, and if he has this beautiful field and things get damaged and there's $25,000 in damage, we need to understand who's going to be responsible for that, because as you all know, with the budgets you guys see, $25K is a lot of money, but $25K is a lot of money, especially with things that we can't control. And then, you know, it's like, well, we got insurance and things. It's just going to be a mess. So we're too far away from knowing how that would work out, but that's the whole reason that I wanted to get involved. He completely understood. He has every intention, based on what he's presented to me, of wanting to negotiate in good faith and make sure whatever contracts, you know, ultimately have to be negotiated in an open meeting and agreed upon in open meeting, but a lot of the provisions I'm going to put in anticipation of your discussion. He wants to make sure it's fair for everybody. So I did ask about a lease term and things, and obviously, you know, there's a few things that you all need to be kind of thinking about from now until next meeting. Is one, he's going to be developing and putting a bunch of money into this parcel potentially, and he wants to make sure that because he's doing that, he's not implying anyone would, but he has essentially, you know, some exclusivity or first right, meaning you wouldn't go contract, the city wouldn't contract with some other league and then bring, you know, weekend games and then wear and tear and things of that nature. So that, I mean, that's understandable, but that's one thing he mentioned. Another thing he mentioned, this is getting to be a long, but I think you all need to know this. Another thing he mentioned was the lease term and the fact that he's putting all that time in there and he wants to make, it's not a year. So he was talking about proposing, this is not being formally proposed, these are just informal discussions, talking about, you know, doing a set term and then renewable, and obviously there'd be termination provisions and things like that, but he doesn't want to spend a bunch of money and then only have it for 3 years. I think everyone can understand and appreciate that. One of my bigger question outside of what I said was, you know, the stuff that isn't going to go wrong, but the stuff that goes right. Who's going to cut the grass? Who's going to take, you know, all that stuff? And he's completely willing to collaborate on maintenance. Those are all provisions and very detailed things that still need to be discussed. But he's very open to doing that. I mean, he specifically said he wants to create opportunity for kids first and foremost. I'm not finished, I'm still going through. Okay, so another issue too that I, just immediately picked up on was, the city being involved essentially as a general contractor, right? So his initial proposal, based on what I've known and what he shared and his preference, just because it's a foundation and it probably has to, on the back end with tax purposes and approvals and things, his preference was or is to essentially donate the money, which you all would have to vote on and ensure it's, it's for public purpose spending and all those things. So we're just chatting, but donate the money through the city, and then he would essentially coordinate with all the contractors and everything, and ensure the city pays. That he didn't tell me this, but essentially that makes it the most. I mean, it's the easiest for them, just because there's no question as to whether funds are being siphoned off for somebody's vacation home or something. I'm giving a random example. Mm-hmm. He is. I went in some details about concerns and liabilities that the city's going to take on, and quite frankly, I mean, one of the things is you all have jobs or are retired and should be able to go to Home Depot when you want and not have to manage a huge project like this. So I'm also thinking about city resources, not financially, but literally your time. And that's going to be a lot of time. So that's another thing too. And I know he's going to help with that, but the less the city may or may not be attached to that actual process and invoicing and change, there's going to be a ton of change orders and a bunch of things. It can just leave the city potentially on the hook when there's disagreements and with contractors, and build outs and everything. There's always going to be some type of thing. So those are I'm just giving you things to think about. He did mention something about, there's been some discussion about bathrooms and things. He doesn't have any intention of building bathrooms right now. He is actually, I think there's a neighboring property, it was a church or something like that. He's talking to them, and I know some of you guys might know this, but I'm just sharing this for the open meeting too. He's trying to work with them he's essentially trying, whatever's easiest first, he'll try. Repair and damage to the field, I've already brought that up, but he's open discussing that so it works. I mean, I would just want to make sure that things outside of the city's control really should not make the city liable. Yeah, wants a long-term partnership, bring value to Bromley. So, and I explained to him, and he knows, is he's working with government, not, a private entity and, a couple people around a table that are trying to get stuff done fast. His hope is to, and I think some of you know this already, but his hope is to have this up and fully operational in the fall, which from a construction process means that he really needs to start understanding by next meeting, most importantly, and I think this needs to be added to the agenda. I would recommend you discuss this at the meeting next time, as whether these funds should be donated to the city or he figure out how he can do that directly. I mean, that's definitely a discussion you all need to have. He did say that really he needs that to start working on what he needs to do for the green light, and then the contract can be negotiated prior to that, or I mean during that process and everything. So made very clear to him I have no vote on it. I have nothing to do with it other than to ensure the city's best interests are in mind throughout the process. And he seemed very happy that this is going forward. He was very happy to talk with me, and looking forward to working with you all. Well, the last thing, so some of the things, just the way my brain was working, is I want to make sure that, this is a horrible word to say, but there's no bait and switch, right? So the nice thing is, I said, okay, well, what's the back end of this? So they're going to be big sponsor. Is he going to be bringing? Is there going to be a lot of stuff going on that property that Bromley didn't sign up for? And the answer to that is no. I think Andy might know this, but there's going to be an Exhibit B to the contract, definitely with SD1, because SD1 is requiring it to understand any and every possibility that could be done on that property. His example he gave me is, he said, I'm going to put, because he actually sent this to me, I haven't had time to review it because it was yesterday, but I asked him to send me his proposed Exhibit B, I'm going to obviously share that with you guys and discuss at the next meeting. But he used a scoreboard, for example. He said, I'm going to put that on there. It's soccer. I doubt we're ever going to build a scoreboard, but if for some reason something came up and I wanted to build a scoreboard, I want to have it on there. You know, bathrooms are another example, things of that nature. And I gave him some ridiculous examples to illustrate the point. You know, like we're not going to store cars on it or something. You know, I made something up, and he's, oh no, of course not. So the biggest thing that I just wanted to make sure of, and I still want to make sure of, is that the city council fully understands what the city's getting involved in. That it benefits the city, which it should, but most importantly, because this lease is probably going to be for a long time, things are going to happen, storms are going to occur, and I just want to make sure that the city is protected from any, you know, unavoidable damage or unforeseen damage or anything like that, so city council's not freaking out about a big, you know, bill and things of that nature. So that was very lengthy, but it was important that I brought that up because I had that's the conversation that I had. I wanted to share that with all of you tonight. Okay. So what I'm going to do, just for, you know, from the attorney perspective, I'm going to continue to engage with him, SD1, and I know Andy and Mike have been involved on that too, and keep pushing this forward. But for next meeting, I would be you all prepared to really dive in and discuss the things. And you know, vote on some things that I don't know, but just be prepared for that. So
There's just one thing that I want to ask you. You say the green light, you know, green lighting them. Is there a way that you can present, okay, if we say you can go ahead and do that, but is there a way that we're protected in case something happens while he's trying to rush this forward? You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I guess I said so much that I don't know what I said about green light. Are you referring to when I said once the payment thing is, it's okay, he kind of has the green light and
yes.
we can keep pushing forward?
Yeah.
Nothing is officially done until everything's reduced to writing in a contract.
Okay. All right.
I think what I was just repeating, I was paraphrasing, but repeating
okay.
what he said,
right.
is he said that because the timing of the weather,
right, yeah,
and all of the, you know, construction, for lack of a better term, and the grading and installation and all of that stuff that needs to take place, that will take months leading up to a fall start launch of February 2026. Because of all that, he is willing and open to at least understanding how the city would like that to be paid for, whether it's funneled through the city as a donation or he figures out on his own end. Because the reason is because if the city ultimately decides that the money shouldn't flow through the city and you all don't want to be responsible for that on behalf of the city, then he would need to go through other approvals to make sure that, you know, everything looks above board on his end, because he's going to be essentially cutting checks directly to random people and contractors and things like that. I guess I wouldn't say that once you decide on that, everything's great and everything's fine. Absolutely not. I think it would just be understood, and I probably would reduce this to writing and have signatures on it that if you all decide, whatever you all decide, that it's a preliminary decision and you are by no means binding yourself to things you can't control. You're just essentially letting him know what the funding's going to be looking like, so he can go kind of to phase 2, which is, you know, what he wants to do in contract negotiations and things like that. But yeah, it's not, it wouldn't be foolproof until everything's voted on, there's a contract signed and everything. I mean, I really do think that with the timing of meetings and things like that, it's going to be tight, but ultimately, you know, my job is to look out for the city. And if I'm not slowing this down or putting a wrench in it, to make very clear, but if it's in the city's best interest, once we dive into this and it takes a few months to negotiate contracts and vote on them and everything, and he doesn't open until fall in 2027, you know, then that's probably that's what my legal advice would be, because, you know, we can't rush something for that benefit. I know everyone's excited about it, but in theory, it's going to be there for a very long time. So it's still possible it's all going to happen. I'm not implying it's not.
Right.
But there is some light work that would need to be done. But the good news is in between meetings, I mean, there's 30 days in between meetings, a lot can happen.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
The lease between SD1 and the city is on the large lot, the soccer lot, we'll call it the soccer lot, is, the draft is for 5 years. And that was renegotiated, I think, from 1 or 2 years up to 5. So I'm not sure how much more we would be able to get out of that. But when we go back to negotiate that lease with SD1, is it just possible to make sure that we have enough room within our lease that we can be comfortable with the sublease? Like, to create space for potential needs with that initial.
I heard of it. What do you mean by, are you talking about timeframes or are you talking about other things? You said potential needs. What do you mean specific?
Well, like liability issues, his investments, things like that, that will, you know.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just giving you a general answer. The lease between SD1 and Bromley needs to be this big and all-encompassing and ensure that Bromley and SD1 are on the same page for what that property is going to be used for and a lot of other things.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying. You know, so that lease is going to be this wide, and then his sublease is going to be a little bit this wide because there's going to be provisions in this lease to cover things that he might not really care about, but I care about on behalf of the city. Is that getting to your question?
Yeah, so I was just suggesting that maybe sometime within the next, in between meetings, this meeting and the next, maybe we could submit some sort of draft to SD1 to
Yes.
kind of get that ball rolling ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. So, as you know, I haven't reached out to SD1 directly yet, but I see that contact information. But what I probably would want to do is, I need to draft that, but I also want to go back to him because he's going to have an opinion on some things to make sure he's covered. But remember, my job is not to make sure he's covered. It's to make sure the city's covered. But ultimately, provisions that he wants in there are probably going to be reasonable. And we want to make sure they're, you know, he can, essentially, we want to make sure he can do what he wants to do, and the city's was eventually going to be in agreement for him to do. And we need to make sure that's in the SD1 contract. But just because he wants it doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. Did that get to your question?
Yeah, sure did.
Okay. All right.
I have a question, and I don't know if it's even the time for it or not, but you're saying with him funneling the money basically through us, that we would be writing the checks to the contractors or whatever. Let's say 5, 10 years down the road, whatever the lease is, whatever he's done, and he goes on. Does he take any of that with him, or is it because it was put through here, you know, with us paying it out, even though it was a donation, does it stay there?
Are referring, what is,
Whatever he would put,
like
like a scoreboard or a bathroom.
does that stay there?
Yes.
Yes.
Or does he take it with him when he goes?
Oh, okay. That is a question I don't know the answer to because we haven't drafted the contract
Okay.
yet, but that is an awesome thing to bring up at the meeting next meeting,
Is
when
it
we have a
gonna
contract.
make a difference in him giving the money through here or him paying it himself, if that made a difference?
Right. I personally think, and he essentially said it, it's easier for his organization to donate money than to pay a plumber or an excavator directly, because then they have to go through hoops to prove that is definitely for the purpose and all of that. So it's just, he says he's happy to do that. It's his preference to do. He's happy to do whatever he wants. With respect to what you're talking about, that like structures that are on the lot or the grass or things like that, those are all things that would be baked into the lease, which is that's an amazing question and another great example of why we definitely need to make sure we're looking at all of those things. Because when I don't want to get into the weeds, but let's use that. The weeds are going to stay there. The grass is going to stay there. He's not going to pick that up and take that with him. There's arguments to be made that this, if it's a soccer goal, for example, yeah, he's probably going to be able to move that and want to move that. If it's an in-ground scoreboard that it's $100,000 and it's fixed and it's not movable, for lack of a better term, that might be one of those things that he either abandons or you can write into the contract to say it stays. Those are all great things, and that's all stuff that'll be addressed in the contract. Okay. That was my longest. Okay.
So hopefully I caught everything.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Okay, well, we've already had a discussion about it anyway, but if I'm hearing you correctly, this body's got to also decide, we got to decide a bunch of stuff. We got to talk about a bunch of stuff about this thing. But the thing he needs right now to actually move forward, get started with some of the planning and some of the contracts that he has to put together with vendors and stuff like that. I'm assuming that's what he would be doing, but he's wanting this body to pay for that through the city's mechanism, correct? That's what his preference is.
His preference would be to donate the money to the city and then the city pay those contractors. That is his preference.
But aren't we, by us paying for this project, basically, right, the whole thing, aren't we bound by specific requirements as to bidding processes? And
So I need to be
so
careful.
He would have more flexibility if he did it.
Yeah.
Is
So,
what I'm referring to.
yeah, so from a legal perspective and looking out for the city, my best advice as it stands this exact second, which I say all the time, I reserve the right to change my mind because facts change, I learn new information. But the cleanest way to do it for the city is to not be funneling money through city at all. That opens the city up to a whole other world of liability. As you guys all know, I mean, I do a lot of litigation, and when you're dealing with contracting vendors and things and people not showing up and then things getting delayed, and there's change orders all the time, and this person says well, I told him to do that, well, it wasn't in writing. It just opens the city up to a lot. It opens the city up to a lot of potential litigation that the city, as you all know, I'm trying to use my resources in my office as efficiently as possible to keep your legal costs down. It's just something the city doesn't even need. But it's not up to me to decide. I'm just giving you all the legal advice. So what his hope would be is sometime, in the next 2 weeks, which isn't going to happen because we don't have a meeting in 2 weeks. I really would say by the next meeting to really understand what the funding process is going to look like. One of the things, to get to your question, one of the things that was brought up was the whole bidding thing. And to answer you didn't ask the question, but to get to the answer, that's in my tonight legal opinion off the top of my head, that's a project. So saying, well, we're only going to pay the turf guy $10,000 and this we're going to get all under 40,000. I would not advise that at all whatsoever. So yes, soft answer, you're putting me on the spot, yes. But the cleanest way to do it, is just have him pay them directly.
My hopes are is that if we do take that endeavor on, it's going to delay things like you would believe. And I hope he understands that and hope it helps him decide, well, I'll take care of it.
So I understand what you're saying. Will you use more words because this is all being recorded so I can go back to him and tell him? So we're on this. What do you mean by that specific? I don't want to assume what you mean, even though I know it. Tell me what you mean by that.
As far as delays, creating delays?
Yes.
Well, I mean, the bidding process itself is pretty unique because a project the size of this requires a specific set of specifications and the bid document itself, to put that together, that's going to cost $4,000 to $5,000. I don't know if he knows that. For an engineer to do that, it's going to be around that.
What other? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And once you have something of that size, a lot of contractors would like to have some time to put a bid together. And it's not like you get 3 or 4 days and give me a price. It's like a month sometimes. It depends on the size of the project, but it could be 2 weeks, whatever an engineering firm will estimate what it would take a company to put a bid or a price on a project like this. they'll try and say, okay, let's put it up to bid for 3 weeks. That's one delay.
Okay.
That's just one delay.
Okay. Can you give me a few more delays that you're thinking? I want to be able to share this, and then, all the citizens are watching this.
Availability of materials. I know that there's not a whole lot in that, other than he's got an irrigation system that he's wanting to put together. He's got to get a design document, he's got to get all kinds of stuff.
A lot of contractors do draws too.
Yeah.
And we only have people in the office so
Right.
many hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, payment might be delayed somewhat. Now, I know the girls do that, they do an amazing job, and I think we're probably the only city that pays within, definitely within 30 days, less than 30 days. Sometimes it's a week, a payment is out, so.
So I heard everything. I intentionally pulled that out of you on purpose.
Okay.
So I will share all that with him and discuss that
Okay.
with him. But I definitely, I'm going to have in my thing, I'll start working on my contract. And then, I'll come next meeting to provide some updates. But I would definitely, it's your decision. If you all want to keep moving forward on this, I'd be prepared to have more in-depth conversations about that next meeting.
Okay.
We just, that's stuff we need to think about. I'm happy to help either way. If that way works, I'll put some time and effort into the project, that's for sure. I've done it, I did it on the concession stand down there. But for the city to not have to go through bidding and all that jazz, that's a heck of a lot nicer on us. And I hope he understands that. And I hope it's not an issue where it's kind of putting him, in a position where he's going, I don't know if I want to do that. Is he acting like that? Or?
No, not at all. And I know I said, I'll say it again. He specifically said, and he reserves the right to change his mind too, right?
Yeah.
He specifically told me that he wants to make this work with the city, and he's willing to do it either way. He's willing to do it option one, which you're concerned about, and option two, where he just handles it. He just needs to go through some other approvals and make sure he's got what he needs in line. So ultimately, he can justify to whoever he needs to justify to that the funds are still being used according to whatever he has to do. So, which I don't need to get into the details of all that.
That makes me feel a lot more comfortable, to be honest with you.
And it just becomes a timeline of the lease and then the subsequent sublease.
Yes, for the city, yes.
Yeah.
I
I
don't-
don't think anyone is opposed to the soccer field project.
No, I think to hear him talk, guys, it's a pretty big deal. It's bringing in a select group of soccer players.
Including Bromley kids.
Including Bromley kids. And it can only grow from that, to be honest with you, because once it starts, there's no fields in northern Kentucky. There'll be no fields in northern Kentucky like that. Because it'll be bringing these select teams, these good teams into town. And I think it's a neat concept, a neat idea. It's just my opinion. So
I would second
I'd love
that.
to see it happen.
I would second that opinion.
Love to see it happen.
I mean, third that opinion.
Yeah.
My opinion is that he needs to handle all the money. It should not go through the city.
That's the easiest for us.
For us, I don't think that, of course, council can say, I don't think that we should handle any money for him. It can make us look bad, because if it don't go right, it's gonna make us look bad. I'd rather stay out of the money.
It's as easy for him that he can go get his own plumber. He
Yeah.
can go get his own, lawn care people. He just goes and hires them. We can't do that.
Yeah.
This falls outside of the money that's already been donated for the playground surfacing, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you referring to that $60,000?
Yes.
I was going to talk about that next, but yes,
Okay.
completely separate of that.
Okay.
So I guess, can you all vote preliminary, can you all vote on, do you want me to go back to him and tell him that the city's preference is to have have him handle all of the money and not flow things through the city. That's what I'm hearing, but I need to hear that. So can you all vote on that, please?
Bill's comfortable with doing it,
Somebody make a motion, okay?
I'll do it, I'll make a motion,
Okay, that he,
that he handles the finances.
the finances, not the city.
And we'll help him in another way, you know.
And I will second it.
Yeah.
We got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposes? Okay.
Ken wasn't opposing, were you?
No,
No.
he was not. It was up
You
in the.
scared me.
Authorization to negotiate leases, agreements with SD1 as well, or?
I think we did that last month, but just in case, I don't want to have to go back and watch a video and find out. I know that last month I got authorization to get involved in this and everything, so whatever, I would just make a motion to get on the same
I'd
page.
make a motion to, I guess a resolution to allow our solicitor to enter into negotiation with SD1 concerning the leases on the recreational lot and the soccer lot.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Who was first? I'm sorry.
Mike,
Uh,
have we been the bathrooms down here?
Mike was first,
Okay.
then Dave.
Okay.
You were first, second his motion, right? You second?
I did not, Dave did.
Oh, Dave did, then you seconded?
No.
No, Diane?
No.
He made the
He
motion,
made the
Diane
motion.
second.
Andy
Diane
made the
seconded.
motion.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
I just want to get this down, we'll get you.
No,
some
that's
copy.
most important, so let's make sure she has everything she needs and it's documented correctly. If we can take a second, that's fine.
It's,
Okay.
we're utilizing the existing bathrooms is not a good idea because of coming across the road.
Well, the reason I asked is because I would ask for the state to put a crosswalk across that.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
That's one, could be somebody, you know, if he's hopeful, from what I heard, he's hopeful, and Diane's been working on it.
They're not, they have not, he was hopeful to be able to work out something, arrangement with the school,
The
Pleasant View
The Baptist church,
Baptist.
our school.
The sewer
Because
system
they're-
in that area is probably 20, 25 foot deep, and it's very costly to put a lateral in.
Okay.
Yeah, he was hoping to be able to work something with them to use that back building that they have. And I've made 2 phone calls and I've not gotten her. Yeah, they seemed pretty receptive on the first call, but I think that was evidently just to get me off the phone.
Yeah. I mean, if I can get the state to put stop signs down there at mid-block, it'd be just as short as it is from Steve Tanner to Main Street. Then you'd have a crosswalk there.
Okay, well, let's get back here on,
So I have a few more things.
no, I mean, to get back to what we're
Oh, to me,
Yeah.
oh, okay. This is quick. So, you all brought up that $60,000, so I don't know how things were done in the past, but this is how I would like to do it in the future. If the city, first off, the city, you know, with $60,000, I want you guys all to discuss that and make sure that is, you know, public purpose spending. I'm in receipt of letters for playground equipment. But more importantly, with the amount of money, I would like the ability to draft just a short little donation agreement, just so everyone's on the same, when I say everyone, the city and then this foundation is on the same page, and I would like you all to vote on that.
So you're not, you'd rather have a new written agreement versus the letter that was received from the foundation?
I would like the ability just to draft a page or two
Okay.
outlining, and to be honest with you, it's more to protect the city than anything, that this does meet statute, and, you know, this is what the money's gonna be for. You know, you all are accepting it, they're gonna sign it, and that way, in 6 months, you know, we don't, 60,000, that way in 6 months, we've got a written agreement as to what everything's gonna, what's gonna happen.
For those
Are
on
you
council?
drafting that, or are you wanting one of us to? do
No,
it?
I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. It'll be straightforward, simple. It's not gonna be some 50-page agreement. I just wanna draft something so we're on the same page, and then I'll, you know, bring it to the meeting next month, and you guys can vote that you approve it, and then we'll go from there.
For those who do not know, we've received donations over the years, I mean, a lot that we don't know about, but during our tenure here, I guess, we received a couple donations here and there. However, there's actually a requirement that cities that do receive donations are required to have an agreement, a written agreement for that donation. In other words, if DP decides to donate some more equipment down there, like they did years ago, well, they required the requirement is that there's a written agreement, and we vote yes or no on it. The council does. So that's why we're trying to catch up and correct, past practices.
Okay.
So from here on out, any future donations that may come about, we need to discuss them, that's brought forward to us, and then agree or disagree with it or whatever, and then get this agreement made.
Okay, somebody, yeah.
Yeah, well, I get, the bigger issue is just, I would prefer in the future, no, I can't change the past, I would prefer in the future, here's the example that I'll give. If somebody wants to donate $100,000 to build Mayor a new house, okay, that can't happen, right? So we need, and I'm not,
Yeah, why not?
right, okay, well, so that was a funny example. I chose that intentionally because everyone says, well, we can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, y'all need to deliberate on that. You need to talk about that, and you need to determine that the proposed donation is actually going to be for a public purpose. It's going to benefit the whole community, not the mayor we love, okay? So the whole idea is to, have deliberations and ensure it complies with statute. I would just prefer that especially 100,000, 60,000, and, sometimes even 5,000. It's a good idea to have all that stuff in writing so everyone's on the same page. If there's ever an issue or they have an audit or something like that, we just want it in writing, not a handshake agreement type of a thing.
Good for transparency and allocation of.
Very much. Transparency and then.
Just out of curiosity, say you've got that $60,000 that has been donated, and it's been donated for that specific purpose.
Mhm.
In this instance, the surfacing. If council can't agree or doesn't agree that the surfacing should be laid, do we refuse the donation? Is that how that works? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
how
no, I
that would
understand.
work.
So I can send you an educational piece, or send everyone an educational piece on this. I guess my bigger point is ensuring that, it comports to law and you all agree on it and things of that nature. So I would have to have the actual issue before me,
Yeah,
but for example, like here, so for example, if there's somebody wants to donate money to put towards something that you all can't vote needs to occur, then that's a completely separate issue. What I'm referring to, everyone's in favor of this playground equipment, I'm assuming, right? So you're all in favor of that. I think in your example, if there's something, well, we're going to donate $60,000 and this money can only be used to, put this monument, that's public purpose spending. I'm not saying a monument is. I'm just making a general comment. But if it's this huge thing that no one can vote that they want in the city, well, you're not forced to accept it just because it's public purpose.
Okay.
I think that's your
That
question.
makes sense, yes.
But I want to be
Yes.
very specific because this is all recorded. I'm not giving you a blanket legal advice that can be applied to every single situation. I would have to literally see that situation before me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's, basically what I was curious.
That's what I thought, okay, yeah.
But right now, we need to make a motion to give him the order to write up something, right?
Yes, I just,
I'll make a motion that Matt draft up an agreement.
Draft the agreement, yeah.
For the city receiving the donation.
Donations.
I'll second.
Oh, you second it? Okay. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That was Mike. Tim seconded.
Motion.
Yeah. And Tim seconded.
Yeah, and that's hand up before I did.
yes.
Yeah,
Does,
she got it. didn't
you have it, Brittany? All right. Thank you.
All right.
That's all I have.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, thank you, that's all I have tonight. Yeah, that was, I think, the longest one for me, so, yeah, sorry.
Ways and Means. Mike?
Let's see, basically, all the reports really look okay. One thing you will notice there's no activity in the other accounts, but general fund, you'll notice that the collection of property taxes is lagged behind our projected budget of $95,000. We've only collected around 60 right now, and now there's going to be stragglers coming in. And the reason for that is this is the way that Kenton County, or the County Sheriff's Department, who is collecting our taxes, this is how they are making the payment that we owe BP. They're using a certain amount of taxes this year, next year, and the following year to get that $75,000 paid off. So we don't have to handle that $75,000 hit all at once. Even though Mike agreed to pay it, because we did have the funds to do it, they wouldn't let us do it.
We'll do it,
that way.
yeah.
It had to fit their software, the type of software they got. It's the same issue that I had way back when on the gross receipts. Their software couldn't handle those types of credits and debits and all that good stuff. But it's only a specific way of payments and repayments and all that good stuff. So that's why you see we're not gonna hit $95,000 because we're paying that 75 back on bits and pieces. Okay? That's something that actually Mike and Terry had talked to the sheriff
With the sheriff about, yeah. It's frustrating because they just don't change.
I know.
They just do not change.
Well, yeah. Well, it's time for all committee chairs to submit some requests for next year's budget. So if you've got anything, start putting your thinking cap on. And if you would, please, I'll send out blank request forms for everybody, and if anybody needs help filling them out, just holler and let me know. But if you would, please send the request to Mike and Terry instead of me. Just copy me if you would. That way I'll know how to help whoever needs help submit them. Because I think Mike and Terry are going to get together here in about a month or so to get started on the next budget. So I'll keep bugging you to get them in.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it? Okay, Tim, you got anything under the park and playground?
Well, in terms of the servicing for the playground,
Mhm.
he was waiting for Moats to get back with us on when we have a calendar scheduled in for it.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
only thing he has on that.
Okay, all right. They ain't got back with you yet, though, have they?
No.
They're probably waiting for the weather to break.
That's exactly what he said.
And for everybody's information, that we did put it out for bid because we knew it was going to be over 40. So it did go out, it was advertised, went out to bid, received basically one bid through the mail like it was supposed to be done, sealed. However, we did receive a second bid by way of an electronic link, which I kind of researched that a little bit, whether it could be allowed or should be allowed or whatever. Regardless, it was 30,000 more than the bid that was submitted accurately.
Yeah.
So it was awarded to Moats. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Moats? So they got the job.
Okay.
Now, the bids were open on the
Yeah.
date. I can't remember the
Yeah,
date.
the date, right at 12, yeah.
Mike and I witnessed the opening. Mike got it.
January 21st at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, insurance and grants? Callie, you got anything?
Nothing really on insurance.
Okay.
I know there's a new meeting coming up for the festival at the end of this month. And they should be starting another one for the Memorial Day
Day.
shortly.
Okay.
I haven't gotten word on it yet.
Do you mean the Bromley Festival?
Okay.
For the committee.
Under my report, I got a couple of things. I want to bring attention to the council members that I received a formal notice of resignation from my position from Diane Wortman. She's moving out of town. She's been a wonderful person to work with, and I just want to thank you for everything you did for the city. You've been a great help to the city the whole time you've been on council, you know. Is there anything that you want to add to that?
May I see that again? So, I reviewed the letter. I mean, it's a resignation sheet, just, for the record, addressed it to the city and signed it, and it's effective January 31st. What I will say is it's actually, I mean, her resignation's effective that date, but for purposes of the 30 days, it's effective at this meeting. So I don't have a calendar in front of me, but I would just want to make sure
30
that,
days from today?
I would just want to make sure the next meeting, if it doesn't, then you would need to look at doing some type of a special,
Okay.
but February's a short month. So
That would only be 28 days by March 11th.
okay, so
Will be within
the
30
position
days.
would need to be filled within 30, the vacancy
Days.
would be 30 days.
And-
And then I'm going to email you, Brittany, under statute, there'll be some notifications you need to provide
Yeah.
locally.
So if anybody wants to,
I would explain the process, just,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
that way, if anyone watches this, they understand the process
okay,
and
yeah,
everything.
the process says the city and the council request a written notice of your intent to want to be on the council, and it's very helpful in that letter if they have any city experience, okay? And they will have to be in here by that date, the 28th, is that what you said? This next business meeting.
The following meeting would be 28 days, so would they be required at that meeting or the following meeting?
No, the next business
So
meeting.
the next council meeting would then be April 8th.
Would that be right?
No, it needs to be done, they need to be.
The vacancy, the vacancy needs to be filled within 30
30
days.
days, yeah.
The vacancy
Oh,
does.
so within 30 days, so they would be present at March 11th.
Would we have to have a special meeting to actually do that?
I need to look at my calendar. I get, what, is the next meeting outside of the 30 days?
Yes.
Yes, okay, then yes.
We'll have to have a special.
You're gonna
meeting.
need to have a special meeting within the 30 days, yes.
Okay, what is the 28th fall on?
March 28th?
Yeah.
March 28th is a Saturday.
Saturday?
Only 28 in this month.
So 30 days from today would be,
Right.
30 days from today would be March 13th,
Thank you.
which is on what?
Friday.
2 days after our meeting.
2 days after
Yeah,
the meeting.
2 days after the meeting.
Wait.
That's why I'm like,
So we could-
Wait, hold on, now I'm lost, okay. 30 days from today is March 13th, the next council meeting is March 11th.
Right.
Then you're good.
Okay,
Yes,
all right.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't have my calendar up, yes. The next council meeting is within 30 days,
Okay,
so yes.
okay, all right.
so should we find a person, they would need to be present at that meeting?
Mhm. Well, we have to have everything in here at the next meeting if they want
Do we
to
have to-
apply for the council.
Do we have to post that publicly somewhere?
Yeah, yes, yeah, and it will be posted. We'll have to put it out in public and, what did we do the last one? We did, I can't remember.
I can't recall if we advertised it or not, but it wouldn't hurt.
I've not advertised for it.
I
think
would
we
definitely
did.
put it on your Facebook page.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And I can email
Is
you
that
follow-up
just
after
some-
this.
Some verbiage?
I
on what
I can email you follow-up, but I definitely would
Now, is that
advertise
something
it.
that they just apply for, and then it's like a
If-
resume, you go through
And
them?
I
or do
will
they
read them
come
out,
in?
I will open them all up here in council and read it. And then it's up to council to who they felt best
So
fits
they don't have to
that.
come in and like introduce and talk or anything like that, it's just
Yeah,
like by
they-
resume?
They can if they want to.
Okay.
They can stand up there and give a,
Okay.
I did,
yeah, they're more than welcome,
a
okay?
couple of years ago.
Mayor, you'll need somebody to swear them in that night too.
Yeah, that's right. Can you swear in, or do we gotta have another
No.
official?
I'll take a look at that.
Okay, take a look at it. If not, we'll get somebody, okay?
The attorney can, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Promise not to duel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. Yeah.
Okay, so everybody's clear on that?
Yeah.
Hmm,
Unless you, Diane.
okay.
We'll miss you guys too.
Also, I got Duke Energy's going to be performing gas and corrosion inspections in our city. They're going to be going door to door. Now, these are going to be done by, not Duke, it's going to be done by Southern Cross technicians. They will be driving Southern Cross trucks and they will wear invisible Southern Cross picture ID on the outside of their uniforms. They will be wearing a visible Duke Energy picture ID on the outside of the uniform. They will have a contact phone number for the customer to call for verification of the Duke Energy inspection in case somebody's concerned about letting somebody in their house. And they will be driving a Southern Cross vehicle that will be clearly marked. So
What are
just,
they doing?
they're going to do gas leak inspections and corrosion inspections. They just run it, inside the homes, yes, all the way from
Are
your
they
meter.
doing, meter replacements too?
No, that's a different part of,
So what do
The-
they do if somebody works? Do they come outside of business hours or work hours? Do they come in the evening?
they don't tell me here, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's,
Should have to, because a lot of
Yeah,
people
it
It
close.
does
So-
say that they can call
They'll
toll
probably
free
do
to schedule an
something and come
appointment.
back and
yeah,
do it
if
tonight
you
or
all,
something.
you can't call them toll-free to schedule an appointment.
I know with the meters, they usually leave a card on their door if you're not
Yeah.
there, you can call and schedule it.
And the actual number is 888-694-7284.
Are you putting that on Facebook?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can put those.
Do that.
888-694?
Yeah. It's-
7284.
And if there's ever any question, you can
So
call
have to-
Duke, you know what I
I'm
mean?
sorry. Do you have to allow them to do that?
Uh,
Tim is asking.
Well, you might not have to, but it's probably be a good thing to do it. Now, you had a new gas line ran, didn't you? So they don't really need to do yours. You can tell them you just had a new plastic line ran. That's what they're looking for, okay?
It does state they're required by the U.S. Department of Transportation and are
Yeah.
necessary for safe natural gas pipeline operation.
Yeah. They were gonna
So-
do mine a couple times and they never frickin' showed up. So, all right.
So I would just leave that on the homeowner. I don't want anyone
Right.
misconstruing legal advice from the city about whether they should or shouldn't comply.
Right, so
Yeah.
this, here's the phone
So
number.
that if somebody
Yeah.
calls
This
and
is
asks, do I
happening.
have to do this?
Yeah,
Read the letter.
okay.
Oh, Matt.
Need a,
Much
acceptance for
Yeah,
all
you're
the
welcome.
committee reports. Somebody make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second? All in favor? Opposed? Anybody got any old business?
I do have that call out to PDS on enforcement for the people who are behind on the rentals.
Rentals,
Landlord
okay.
payments. But I didn't know if now would be a good time, since we just went through this process, to look again at the rates that we're charging for like single-family homes. Does council think maybe that needs to increase, stay the same?
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah, we did just do it. Yeah.
yeah.
We raised it from 100 to 150.
And like 2024.
I thought that was a couple years ago we did that.
Not that
No.
long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Ignore that. Yeah, I didn't have anything else.
Okay. Any-
I
Yeah.
the other thing that I would say somebody is going to have to pick up is the street banners. Hedgehog was going to put some ideas together for me and get them back to me, and I've not ever got those back from
Okay.
him yet. So that's just something that will, if they want to
Yeah.
change out of the military
Military,
ones.
okay.
If you want to change out of the military.
Well, Jack can take care of that. He can handle that, you know.
Well, I mean, like picking the design, and that's
Oh,
fine. if
oh,
you want
pick a
to do that.
design?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
For the, we had talked about doing half of the year with.
Oh, that's- yeah,
something
that's
other
right,
than
yeah,
military,
okay, yes.
And then doing military from Memorial Day
Right.
to Veterans Day.
That's right, yeah.
So.
Okay.
I recommend Kelly.
Kelly, you're on the spot.
All right,
All right, there we go. We got the answer.
Okay. All right.
I'll be calling you guys.
There you go. All right.
My daughter's to say.
Anything else? Old business? That's it? New business? Anybody got any new business they want to bring up? Was there any communications?
No.
No? Okay. Somebody make a motion the bills be paid?
I'll make a motion, bills be paid.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion for adjournment?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Opposed?
He's on it right there.